Hey everybody. Well, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I am fucking pissed. Excuse my language. Um I woke up, I was supposed to babysit my grandson today. I got the flu. I got hit with the flu. I have been really tired for the last few days. And I decided to send another email to the RCMP. Boy, was that fucking telling. You should be outraged, and I hope Belinda sees this because I hope her lawyer gets on it because I am fucking pissed. And I wanna know, "Hey, Krista, it's okay. It's okay. I wanna know if I'm overreacting because I have the flu." The guy that's in charge of the RCMP case for Jack and Lily, that was away until November 30th, is on holidays again. Yeah. He's in charge of taking the tips by his own email to me this morning. I'm gonna get into it a little bit more. And I was a little bit pissed to see he got back from his 2-week holiday November 13th, and I sent an email this morning, November 15th, and he's fucking gone again for another fucking 2 weeks. So, I had copied the other agent that I was dealing with, and I am gonna give names today because I fucking told him, this is a bullshit fucking email, and I'm fucking going live with it. You should fucking care. Oh, here he is. Here he is now, just now. Hi, Liane. I apologize for my previous email. If my previous email came across with a negative tone, that was not my intention. Well, you fucking sure achieved it, buddy. You fucking sure achieved it. And I fucking want the public to fucking know that you've been on holidays and you're on holidays for a fucking month. And you in your own fucking email to me, and I'm going to read both of them, Mr. Spears, Chad Spears, because when Mike Wilson was working on it, he was a far fucking better civilized human being and police agent than you are. You have not responded to one of my fucking emails except when I called you out on your bullshit this morning. Now you're responding. Now you're responding. How the fuck does the RCMP, and he copied it up the chain, and I copied it up the fucking chain and told them what I thought about it and said I was going fucking public. So hence his response to me. Jack and fucking Lily deserve better than this shit from the RCMP. How the fucking dare do you say you're working on a fucking crime when your guy taking the tips has been away for a fucking month? Dare you fucking tell the public you're working on it? That is fucking bullshit. I'm sorry to be so fucking mad, but if those were my fucking kids and the guy taking the fucking tips is on fucking, now he's taking courses. Now he's fucking taking courses. Well, then put somebody else on it, you fucking assholes. You're the RCMP, and you have very little trust right now amongst the Canadian public between what you did to the ostrich farm out in BC, which I have yet to fucking cover. And you're telling people that those kids walked away while you offer a $150,000 reward. And then you tell me in the same email, you can't keep up with your tips. Then you might not want to fucking go on holidays. And then you're working overtime. Yeah, well, I'm fucking working free, you fuckhead. I'm fucking working free. Because you know what I made last month on YouTube? A whole fucking $100. You fuckers. You're getting paid to do the job. Do the fucking job. I'm sorry, but this is unfucking believable. This is the guy they have taking all the tips. Taking in all the tips. Let's read the emails. Let's read the emails. Okay? Let's read them. So I sent an update again. The fourth one to this guy doesn't respond ever till this morning. I sent another update and I get an email back that I'm away again. I get an email back saying an automatic response, automatic reply, urgent, to my urgent. I am currently out of the office until 2025, 11/25. Today's the 15th. He just got back from holidays for 2 weeks, November 13th. November 13th. So I bitchily responded and I copied Mike Wilson on it. The first guy I was talking to, I said I didn't want to give names. Now I'm fucking giving names. I was trying to be nice with you fuckers because I'm trying to work with you, but this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. You have all of the resources at your disposal. This is bullshit. So how seriously, guys and gals, are the tips being taken if the guy receiving the tips is on holidays more than he fucking works? And I don't give a shit why you're on holidays, Spears. I said to you in my email. I said to you in my email. I said, and I copied Mike. I said at 10:06, I understand needing to take holidays, but how can you be working on the case when you are constantly away? This is extremely upsetting. And I put in capital letters. And then I responded, Mike, can you please send my last email I sent a few minutes ago about Jordan Geddes losing it and the screenshot of Darren Geddes admitting that Daniel and Malaya were in fact at Jordan's house the day before the kids went missing? And please forward it to the appropriate person. To which Chad, that's responded to me never until I called him out this morning, sends me 2 emails. Hi, Liane, 10:28. I write this as I sit at home working on my days off before going on a course that I need to take. Your material previously submitted to me was forwarded to the team for someone to review and action as needed. My role in this investigation is receiving tips and information. Then you should fucking be there to receive them. And if you need to take a course, it's up to your fucking supervisor to fucking put somebody else on it. How are you working on a case when there's no one there to receive the fucking tips? Tell me that. Tell me how you're working on a fucking case when the guy receiving the tips admits in his own email to me there's an overwhelming amount of tips, but you're fucking away. You're fucking away. My role in this investigation is receiving tips, information, and forwarding it on to others who are reviewing and following up if it is something that hasn't already been looked into. I'm only a small part of the team investigating this file. Yeah, but you're the start of the funnel, dude. You're the start of the funnel. And if the starting of the funnel, because I work funnels and sales, if you're the beginning of the flow of information and it's bottlenecked, doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get anywhere, does it? It doesn't get anywhere. So there are other people working on it, but the bottleneck of the person receiving tips, what does that tell you? The RCMP precluding, please bring me home, from searching anywhere other than waterways this weekend. And now we find this out today. The guy in charge of taking the tips for solving Jack and Lily is away more than he's working. And Chad, you see, because I am intuitive and I am a psychic, I can read the energy behind your email because I can fucking feel it. I can feel the disdain that you had when you sent me your first email. So then he says, just because I'm away for one reason or another doesn't mean the file isn't being worked on. You're the guy collecting the tips. And for a month, you're away. Don't bullshit me. Don't fucking lie to me. You're the guy collecting the tips in your own email that are overwhelming. And whoever's in charge in this case saw it fit that it was okay that the guy receiving the tips for the biggest case in the country right now, it's okay if he's away for 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks without replacing you. Then he goes on to say, just because I'm away for one reason or another doesn't mean the file is being worked on. Everyone on the team, listen to this part, has given up days off and time away from family working this file beyond our scheduled shifts. You're getting fucking paid, dude. I've been unemployed for 1.5 years because of a crime committed against my dad that you fuckers refuse to look into. Okay? So my fucking belief and the public's belief that the RCMP with the ostrich farm and your prior record out east, it ain't fucking good. And you're getting fucking paid. I'm doing it for fucking free. I made $100 and some last month off YouTube because I lost my job because my criminal mother took all of my money, my dad's money. And in Canada, you got to wait for a freaking You got to wait 5 years for a long-term care home. I lost all my coaching clients with illegal restraining orders or legal liens I had to run to Florida for. And you guys, an international law-abiding corporation, refused to fucking help me, the fellow citizen. So fuck you, RCMP. You have zero of my respect now. None now. None. You have the fucking resources to replace that guy and put somebody on it that's available to take the tips. How do you expect to solve a crime when you aren't fucking taking the tips? How do you expect to solve a crime when you aren't taking the tips? Tell me, guys, am I overreacting? There's 72 of you here. Am I just on a bitch fest, or is this fucking unacceptable? Then he goes on to say, this is all while dealing with our other files that our other unit has. We have been receiving an overwhelming number of tips and information that continues to come in, all of which takes time to review and follow up where it can be. And then he says, Corporate Wilson is no longer working on this file because I keep copying him because he's the only one with decency to respond to me. Moving forward, please send anything you wish to submit to. So he's basically saying, don't fucking send me another email. And then he copies whoever it's to go to. The HDIV Ninova group, or whatever that is. The email is monitored by more than one person on the team. If you still feel that this is upsetting, feel free to contact our office Monday to Friday and ask to speak with a supervisor about your concerns. Oh, fuck. I'm pleading for the public to call out the RCMP. I hope the locals see this and call your bullshit against this, Chad. It's not acceptable when there's 2 fucking missing kids out there. And you guys have fucked this case up from the beginning. Oh, and then I responded back. As I said, Mr. Spears, I understand the need for holidays, but had you not checked your email at home, my email would not have been forwarded up. So while I don't blame you, your response, it doesn't feel appropriate when the public has a mistrust to what's being done in this case. Do I need to remind you that the RCMP has failed miserably with other cases in your location, and the RCMP should care about the public opinion of this case, and it isn't a good one. This makes you and the RCMP look like you don't care. I am also volunteering my time for free, unlike you who is being paid. I try to help with this case. Would you like to be taken seriously? And I would like to be taken seriously, I said, and you have yet to respond to any of the emails I sent you, so shame on you. Then he just replied, as I go live here, I apologize if my previous email came across with a negative tone. That was not my intention. I was trying to stress the fact that as a unit, we care a lot about this file, and everybody has been putting in a lot of extra time. Even with me having been off, it continues to be worked. Really? Chad, don't lie to somebody that knows better. Okay? You're the front fucking line. And it's not on you. It's on your fucking boss. It's on your boss. Okay? How you responded to me is on you. But your boss is failing these fucking kids. That arrogant little fucking Shannon, whatever his fucking name is, McKinnon or whatever, the fucking guy in charge that's been on the fucking news, get your fucking ego out of your fucking arsehole, dude, and start coming forward and telling the fucking people of this country who deserve the fucking answers that those kids didn't fucking walk away in the backyard. This is absolute bullshit. You don't offer a $150,000 reward for kids that walked out the backyard so the deer can find them. Who are you giving the reward to? Give me a break. I was just trying to stress the fact that as a unit, we care a lot about this file, and everyone has been putting a lot of extra time. Even with me having been off, it continues to be worked. Reset up the email I provided to ensure emails like yours are not sitting in one person's inbox without being actioned. I was off, but forwarded your latest email upon my return, so someone on the team who is assigned to follow up on the information could review them. I was not aware that you had been contacted in regards to that. You had not been contacted in regards to them. So again, you're not aware because you're fucking not working, Chad. And it's not on you. It's on your fucking boss. It's on your fucking boss. So I was supposed to be contacted and I wasn't. Oh, now they're calling me. Oh, now they're calling me. They're calling me right now. Let's hold. Hung up. They hung up. They are calling me. Yeah, they're calling me all right. Oh, here we go again. Let's see, guys. Let's see. Let's see what they have to say. I'm just gonna let people know that you're calling me, Chad, right now, because I'm not talking very politely about the RCMP. It did come across the wrong way. People are not happy with what's going on with this case. And I understand you're taking the time off, okay? And it's not your fault, but it doesn't look good. It did come across wrong, and I appreciate you calling me for an apology, Chad. I appreciate you calling me to apologize. What I would like to do is I would like to talk to you about what I have done with these cases, with these kids. I have found another missing child before, okay? I understand not everybody believes in it, in this shit, and I didn't fucking ask for these dreams to happen, okay? I was born with them. I found the child in Rockport years ago that went drowning on the Labor Day long weekend, and he was in the water. The police divers couldn't find him in an underground cave. I found that child. Okay. I am not just some asshole sending you stupid leads. If you take the time to talk to Mike, everything in my visions was proven 5 months later. Okay. I didn't know, I don't even have access to Facebook. So I am not researching this shit. These are my visions. And I would really appreciate if you would take the time to talk to me about it because I feel like you're not taking me seriously and that's is really upsetting. I know because you're away and it's not your fault, okay? It's not on you. But your boss has an obligation to replace you. If you're away, it starts with you. How do you expect to investigate a case and it's not your fault? You have to take courses, but people need to be available to take tips. But I don't know that, okay? And that's not how psychics work. I can't tap into everything. I'm sick today with the flu and I'm working and sending you something. And I don't get paid for this. You know, I lost all my coaching clients because my mom defrauded my dad with dementia in Florida and I tried to get your help, okay? It's unbelievable what was done to him. So this is my livelihood because I haven't been able to get a job. So when you send an email saying we're all working overtime, dude, you have a fucking job, okay? Be lucky. Be lucky. Then when you're done, take the time to call me because I want to explain to you so you understand what my visions were. I volunteer with the Find Me group. You might research them, okay? Kelly Snyder has worked with the RCMP before. He was a Secret Service agent for 25 years before setting up the Find Me group, okay? I passed with that and 3 pictures of cases they worked on in 2018 with I was just saying I passed a test with them at 80% accuracy in 2018 with 3 pictures. I'm not a Nimrod. I've got visions that have now been validated and substantiated 5 months later. I need you to call me when you have time so I can explain to you what they are. Okay. Yes. No. Yes, because these are visions I gave Mike, okay, in May. And now the names of the people I've given him and the descriptions are exactly the same of the players. Okay? It's you don't that does not happen by coincidence. Okay. I know. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, and they need to be found whether they're deceased or not. Okay, well, listen, Chad, I appreciate your call, but you have to this is directed towards your boss, okay? This is his fault. I'm sorry. But it doesn't look good when the public person taking the tips is away for so long. It's not on you. And I appreciate anything other than your first tone, but I appreciate you calling to say you apologize because I pick up on energy too, don't forget. Okay? Okay. I know. But when I called Mike on May 8th, when I called Mike and spoke with Mike on May 8th, I told him they were kidnapped. They didn't walk out the door. Okay. And you haven't found them 6 months later out the backyard. It's about time the narrative stops. Okay. You're not offering $150,000 reward for the deer to find upon them on the forest. Let's be real. People don't believe the narrative. And it's time you guys start asking the public for help in other ways because people do not believe you. Okay. Anyways, I'll let you go. I appreciate your time. But, if you don't call me, I would like somebody else to call me because this is not acceptable at this point. Okay. Okay. Okay, Chad. Okay. Okay, thank you. Bye. You too. Bye-bye. Well, that was Chad Spears, y'all. That was Chad Spears, who just called to apologize that his first email to me this morning probably was not inappropriate. After thinking about it, he thought that maybe he should have reworded it. Yeah, um, he should have. And for those of you just coming in, I was reading my email from him this morning, and he didn't realize that nobody called me back about my visions, and he's gonna have somebody call me Monday. So, yeah, and he agrees. And I said, "Look, this isn't on you; it's your boss. You have more resources available than you need for this case. And if you've got to be away and you're the one fielding tips, then they need to replace you if you have to take a course. You cannot be away for an entire month on the case and then claim to be receiving the tips. Why put a cop on it if you can just have somebody else take it and forward it? Okay. You got a cop on it because the cop's supposed to follow up with the leads and investigate how valid they are. So they don't like me being exposing them here right now. They didn't like that. You see how fast I got a call from him? I have been emailing him for weeks. They don't like that I'm on here right now because they know it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. So yes, Denise, I'm glad he called. Now, and I feel better about it, but I shouldn't have to get pissy like that or like this to get a response. I shouldn't have to get this way to get a response. Zach, you want to come up and calm me down? Are you still here? You know, it's so funny you say that, Zach. Do you want to come up? Because I realized last night when I was watching a movie, it's interesting how you can get different interpretations and meanings and validations from things. And I've been saying on this channel, why are none of the kids kidnapped? Why is it always nothing to see here? And I was watching a documentary and I realized that it's because if they say these kids were kidnapped and they never find them, then they look appalling because they can't solve the cases of all the kids that have gone missing recently. So if they come out and say, yeah, we believe they're kidnapped, 5 years later, it looks horrible for them. So the narrative is there's nothing to see here. They just walked out because then they don't look so bad in the public eye when they can't find the kids later. That's sort of what I realized. So Zach, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anyways, tell me what you think. Do you think that the RCMP should have somebody on the tip line who's not away for a month? Ongoing, just got back and is gone away. Do you believe the RCMP should have replaced him? Thank you, Kitty. Do you think the RCMP should have replaced him when he's away for a month? Yes. Zach, do you want to add up? You're welcome to come and talk me down off the ledge for a minute. Because, man, I was pissed. Man, oh, man. So you agree? Yeah, I know, Denise. So he's saying to me in the email, he explained that his email is forwarded. I get that, but that's just an admin taking an email who's not sifting through and has no idea what's been looked into or what hasn't been looked to. And he also didn't realize that nobody had called me back because he's not around. And I said, "That's not on him. It's on his boss. His boss should be making sure that tip line is covered while he's away." Yeah. Yeah. Well, they need to be called out. It's the biggest case going on in the country right now. Okay, no worries, Zach. I'm not gonna be, "Oh, they probably are now." Well, they friggin' are now for sure. Well, I sent them a link to my channel, but, I sent them an email saying this is unacceptable, and I was going live with it. So, I replied back. Yeah, well, I got their attention all right because I responded. uh, um, I sent another email after I responded saying, um, "I understand you need to take holidays, but this is extremely upsetting. Please, send it up the line, Mike." And then I responded because I was just livid. And I responded it all the way up to the top. I will be going public with this email because I think it's absolutely disgusting. So I'm sorry, Chad, if you're watching. I'm not trying to bring it on you. It's the whole team. And I just think you guys need to stop the bullshit narrative that they walked out the door because you might get better tips if you're honest with the public who don't believe at this point, 6 months in, they walked out the door. There's too many lies that Daniel Martel has come on and too many things that Getty's has done that is just not believable. Not believable. Excellent RCMP have excellent world-class investigators. Administratively is where they struggle. Well, it could be, but they have the budget if they need to get more people. Which vision? The last vision I had. Yeah, I know. Well, the other thing that came forward is Getty's went in to give another statement on the 13th. The day Chad was back, Getty's went in to do a statement. So I don't know what that was about. But the last vision I had was just, I jumped to the gun and said I thought it was Janie, but I don't think it was Janie. I don't know who it was, and I don't think it was Malaya, but I heard and I saw a female's face leaning in to wake Lily up from bed to take them out of the house that night. He was calling a woman all these words. He never said even the B word to a woman. He says it's just like normal thing. Though I was raised with respect, he wasn't. Yeah, this case is wild. Anyways, I I wanted to do a live because and I was planning on doing it Sunday night because I wanted to talk to them, and this is what I sent them. Jordan Getty's rants and cryptic messages when he came out the other night. I have said all along, I know Zach and I differ on this, which is totally fine. I respect other people's differences. And but Darren Geddes and Jordan and Malaya and Daniel, I don't know yet. I feel like it was Haley, but I don't know. I feel like it was Haley. It was a soft young female voice, and so that's why it's like at first I thought it was Janie, but I was like, it just didn't have her growl. Um, yeah, well, that's a good point. But I mean, I couldn't help but tell him, dude, you got a job. I've been trying to get a job for 18 months. You know what YouTube paid me last month? $100. Like, and then I get a job and hurt myself and get replaced? So yeah. Uh just I realize they're working hard. But in Canada, they're lucky to have a job right now. No, sweetie, that was my last vision. It was my least, you know, revealing one, if you will, but it did tell me that something was planned, maybe in the inner circles, because somebody woke those kids up. Um, thank you, Becca, honey. Yeah, well, I could try to do that because if they need more resources, then that's fine. And if they need administrative help, I need a job. Like, um, but yeah. Anyways, it's just frustrating. I'm not getting paid to do this, and they are. Yeah. Well, I think she did have a plan, but I think it got intercepted. That's just my thoughts. Well, I know in a world they would give all excuses. Well, if anybody, thank you, Zach, honey. Good luck with your live. If anybody is going to get a budget from the government, it's going to be in funds. It's going to be the RCMP. And I understand they're all tired too, but we're all freaking tired. And maybe they need to start looking in a different direction other than the kids just walked out the back door. Okay. And I said that to him. Stop with the dumb narrative. Your boss, the McKinnon or whatever the guy Shannon there that's on the news all the time. Sorry, dude. Stop with the narrative. Stop with the narrative. There's nothing to see here. Okay. Thanks, Kim. I would certainly tell them when they were pulling bullshit on me. Like somebody needs to be at the helm with the leads. It's the funnel. It's the funnel. So what does that say? It says they don't take the new tips seriously. You know, if you're short on manpower, why wouldn't you put Mike back in it? Okay? Why don't you put Mike back in it who is already working on the case? I understand you've probably given Mike other cases. I understand you have other cases. I get it. But this is the most important case in the Canada right now. And after the ostrich farm fiasco, which Barb has been asking me to cover, but I just figured I would get struck down given, I got YouTube stricken yesterday for the video that I did for Donna on the music that I downloaded for free, like And I just figured it was gonna get taken down. So, and I was trying not to make the RCMP look bad, but right now, their reputation in Canada has never been more dismal that I can recall with this ostrich farm and what happened. And while it's a totally separate detachment, it's RCMP. It's RCMP. And the cases out in the East Coast that they have failed to solve are on everybody's mind right now when there's a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old missing. So, yes, that to me is not an excuse that you're away. It's not Chad's fault. It's his boss's fault. Somebody else needs to come in and cover the tips because they're not being followed up on. And they're a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. Now, in speaking to him, he does care. I can tell he cares. And so I said to him, I apologize. It's not on you, even though I can say your email's on you. You've called me, you've emailed me to apologize. I accept that because he acknowledged his first email kind of sounded snotty. And I said, you got to understand, I can feel energy in your email. I can feel your pissy attitude behind the keyboard when you send it. Okay. I can feel it. So, Krista, lives are not supposed to have commercials. Like, I don't understand. Thank you, sweetie Allie. Thank you, honey. That's so nice. That's so nice. Thank you. So I think, thank you. That's very nice. The real Nora Beaster. I have had an email exchange that upset me this morning with the RCMP, who just called me on this live because I said I was going live with it. And I think people need to know that the boss has allowed the guy that's taking the tips to go away for the last month for the Jack and Lily case. And while I understand he needs to take courses and I understand people need to have holidays, it's not acceptable to me that the boss didn't replace him, that the guy taking the tips for Jack and Lily's case is away for a month. He just got back after 2 weeks on November 13th, and I sent an email out this morning. He's away again till the 25th. Yeah, that's what happened. And then if you want to rewind, I got pissy with them and I sent a snarly email because I have the flu and I feel like a piece of shit today. I have a headache and I don't feel well. And I think it's absolutely unacceptable. And he emailed me back and called me during the live because I said I was going live with this email and I read it by the time he called. So you want me to go back and listen. And while I don't blame him, his boss needs to do better. His boss needs to do better. If you think it's important enough to put an RCMP officer on the tips coming in because you don't think an administrative non-trained officer should be receiving email tips because they can't disdain and determine which one's important and which one's not, hence why you put Chad there and Mike originally there, then why would you find it acceptable that he's away for an entire month, the entire month since the end of October till November 25th and not replace him? How is that acceptable? It's not acceptable for the biggest case in Canada. And I know they're working overtime, and I know that they are short-staffed. Welcome to the world in Canada right now. I have been looking for a job for 18 months, longer than that now. Finally found one, injured my neck, and got replaced. Why did I lose all my coaching clients? Because RCMP and all the other law enforcement officers allowed my mom to do what she had to do. And I'm the victim of financial frauds committed against my dad. And the RCMP refused to help me when I emailed them from Florida. So my belief in the RCMP and the justice system in Canada, myself, because I've seen it personally, is at a fucking all-time low. And I think Canada and Canadians and Americans are feeling the same way. Yes, that's exactly right. But they spend a lot of time collecting money on speedsters. A lot of time. I can't find work here in Ontario. It's so hard. I feel for you. I know. I know. I'm sorry, honey. You know, and then I get a job. Okay. Make this make sense. I get a job finally at Indigo for 25 years sales experience. And my contract says the sales team, and they put me on the 6 a.m. morning shift, 16 hours a week, four of my 5 shifts for 4 hours, unloading and lifting thousands and thousands of books, 9 crates of boxes, like 50 boxes a skid. So I hurt my neck because I told him in my interview I was looking after my dad and I'd been in bed and immobile, and I'm going to be 57. And that's what they put me on. And then when I got injured, decided I wasn't good enough. Yeah. So I said to the HR lady, maybe you should be transparent and not tell somebody you're hiring them for sales only to put them on the belt line. Like, why would you do that? I mean, this is Indigo. This is Indigo Canada. Oh, and then they lied to Workman's Comp and said I only worked 5 shifts. Yeah. People's morality needs to get better, you know? Oh, sweetie, thank you. So I'm sorry that I came on freaking hot and heavy this morning, but I'm very upset. Not necessarily with Chad, because he made it right with me this morning when he just called me and emailed me back. So Chad, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your day, but I'm doing this for free, and I'm fucked financially because of laws that my mother broke against an elder man, my dad with dementia, and this country didn't give a shit about it. And I went all the way up to the Attorney General. So my belief in the justice system, Mike gave me this much renewed hope. And I am just a representative of everybody watching. That's the problem. People in Canada know the justice system, thanks to the Liberal government, ain't what it used to be. And criminals, just like in California, get way, way more rights than the victims in a lot of cases. So, yeah, well, I told him when he called me, hey, I'm on my live now. So he knew. He said, okay. He knew. I'm not going to lie to them. So it's just, it's time the police understand. And listen, we need our police. Every day in the United States, cops are getting shot right now. That is not fucking acceptable. That is not acceptable. But this is one of the reasons. The transparency and the lies and the lack of transparency and their reputations are not good. That doesn't mean they should be shot at. I disagree with that vehemently, but they need to start recognizing that they need to do better to enhance their reputation in the public. And this ain't going to do it. This sure as shit isn't going to do it. Ugh. So I'm going to go back and plan for my live on Sunday. We need the RCMP to do better here in Nova Scotia because in most areas, that's all we have. Well, this is it. Because in the rural parts of the world, in Canada, that's who we get. Hell, they said if somebody tries to break into your home, to give them everything, FKF. No, this is what's going on in Canada right now. Thank you, the real Nora Beaster, for bringing that to our attention. Just, 2 months ago, I think I reported on this, in Scarborough, near Toronto, somebody broke into a man's home and he woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. At 3 o'clock in the morning, to a man with a bow and arrow pointed at him in his bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. He shot the guy and he's been charged. not the guy that broke into the house with the bow and arrow, the guy whose home he was in. The guy that shot the guy he was worried about his life for, and I don't even think he killed him, but they charged him. You're supposed to, in Canada now, just let people break into your home. Just let them. Hey, bow and arrow, don't defend yourself. Don't defend yourself. This is what Canada has come to. And I understand the frustrations that the police must have in that fact that the government, the Liberal government, the Trudeau government, now the Carney government, has deliberately changed the laws. In fact, that's what the Ministry, the Attorney General of Canada told me with my dad's case. Because the law was changed, there's a 1% chance of getting it convicted. She's still stealing money. I can't even get his estate closed. She's still doing it. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares. I can't even get a lawyer to help me close the estate. Nobody cares. Everybody is overwhelmed, and it's, I have cameras all around my house. Never used to be like that. No, it's not. And then I heard another guy, this is a whole different story, in Toronto. He has solved with his cameras on the streets, because he's on a really busy street in Pickering or something near Toronto, has solved like 40 cases in the last few years because of his security cameras catching the crime being committed on a busy street out the front of his house. What does the city of Pickering want to do? Take his cameras down because they're violating. Oh, Hamilton. Thank you, Hamilton. Because they're violating the public's privacy. Yeah, that's Canada. He's solved 40 crimes with the cameras outside. But we are concerned that that innocent person walking on the sidewalk that picked their nose might be seen on camera. Make that make sense. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to Canada. Oh, yeah. I'm just upset. I've been working hard on this case. I feel very attached to these kids. And I'm not getting paid for it. And I'd like nothing better than have a $75,000 a year job with benefits and time to take courses. But at 57 years old, nobody in Canada wants to hire me. Even Indigo hired me for something they claimed was 25 years sales experience and then put me on a book assembly line. And then says, oh, yeah, you don't need a gym membership with us. No fucking kidding. I was sweating. I could barely stand after the 4-hour shifts sometimes. We were timed on how fast we were going. And then the HR lady says, maybe I should have been more transparent. You fucking think? What the fuck is wrong with people? We're going to hire a 57-year-old lady who's been decrepitly in bed, looking after her older father who has been out of society for years. And we're going to put her on a fucking assembly line working 16 hours a week like she's at a gym workout. And then when she hurts herself, we're just going to go, bye. Welcome to morality these days. That's the state of the morality. Won't go broke. I know. I am small, sort of. I am a small sort of at ups and go through the same thing. No, I know. It's just, yeah. uh, I'm upset, and we should be upset. This is I'd like to say I was a tax-paying citizen right now, but I ain't earning any income. Revenue Canada says I have a credit. Yeah, because I haven't been able to get fucking work. And I can't even afford to do my income taxes to get the credit. Because I was self-employed for so many years, like, those taxes are not easy to do. So, yeah. Oh, I know. It is. It's absolutely disgusting. That's a whole other conversation. Like, if my family wasn't here with me, I'd probably leave Canada right now. I would. If I'd go live where my YouTube could survive like my $100 a month. Hopefully it'll be 400 this month where I could live better. you know? But yeah. Well, I said that to him when he called, when I was talking to him on the phone when he called. I'm like, I don't think you're taking me seriously. Like, I didn't ask for these fucking dreams. Like, I didn't. But you can't tell me that I had dreams that I gave to Mike Wilson May 8th that have come forward to be truthful, the names and everything, 5 fucking months later. Like, and tell me that's nothing. Yeah, I know. I know, honey. I know. I know, honey. I know. Yeah, my family's here, Krista. I mean, yeah. I know, honey. I get it. Like the cost of living and everything is, I know. And he said, like, we're working overtime. I said, I understand that. But as a woman that doesn't have a job, like, you got to be thankful you have a job. Okay. I understand you're working hard. I understand that. And it gets me nuts every time Canada Post goes on strike. Canada Post is the most useless fucking entity that ever existed. My aunt, who divorced my uncle years ago, still works there. She probably retired now, but she was in HR, like human resources, like super high up at Canada Post, and she drank the Canada Post Kool-Aid. I remember my birthday is December 8th. And I remember when you're getting my birthday card in February, and I said, "Oh, Julie, I just got my birthday card." What? I'm like, yeah, welcome to Canada Post. Like, you work for them. Like, how badly do you drink the Kool-Aid? They don't get anything right ever. And they always go on strike. Like, they're so fucking hard done by. You know what? There's a million people that'll take your $25 an hour job to deliver the fucking mail. Me included. Me included. Stop your fucking whining. You got a fucking job in an economy where a lot of people like me and people here on the stream can't get fucking work. Like, I'll take the goddamn job. Sorry, you know? But yeah, anyways, I think I'm going to go and be done with my rant. Anybody here want to be honest and say, yeah, Liane, I think you overreacted? It's insane. I'm fortunate to finally have a good position. However, we're struggling. That's a huge problem. Before I get a job, I was damn near starving. It's insane. Yeah, well, the real Nora Beaster, because of what happened to my dad, okay, my mom and his attorney ignored my power of attorney and stole all my dad's money with dementia and left him to die in Florida, which he almost did. His last rites were read because he couldn't afford groceries or a prescription. He had pneumonia. And then we got illegal liens that aren't even legal in the United States that this lawyer in Ottawa, Canada, set up against my dad. I was forced to be in Florida during COVID. And because my dad had dementia and he was a wanderer, he'd take off and leave, and I'd have to jump off my coaching calls, or I'd see him with a blow dryer under the running water, like all kinds of scenarios, or he'd be taking a fit or whatever. And I'd had to jump off my coaching calls. Well, my clients were paying me $250 an hour. And I was a mess. I lost all my clients and couldn't get fucking help from anybody. We were in Florida. We couldn't even get fucking home. I couldn't get the home sold. We were trapped. I had to get restraining orders. I'm not even going to get into it. And nobody fucking helped. Not a law enforcement entity would help. So I know. Well, this is the part that is upsetting. So I don't think the law enforcement really understand the public's opinion is not good. Not good. Mariska, you want to go back and rewind it? Because I read the whole email and then he called me while I was on the live and I spoke to him on the live. And I just I'm just disappointed. And I want to say thanks to Chad for calling me and sending that straight. And I will follow up because it goes up to his hires up to say thank you for calling. It was traumatic, Denise. You have no idea. You have no idea how traumatic it was, dear. And I just think the RCMP needs to do better if they want to regain the public's trust. I have the RCMP harassing me because I don't let off and I don't give up exposing the lies. uh anyways, thanks for listening. I didn't put it on speaker, honey. I did put the earmuffs into one, but I didn't put it on speaker. Um, because that is not legal in Canada, but I did tell him that I was on the live as he called. Well, they better. If they want to gain trust back in the public. No. No way. Thank you, Denise. Anyways, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, and I'm disappointed. Like, badly disappointed because it's the reality probably. What he says is the reality probably. They are overworked. Oh my god. Honey, I'm so sorry. I can't. Barb has been wanting me to cover that case, and I can't, um, because it's too upsetting, and I can't. But yeah, I know, trees, but they're not allowed to go anywhere other than the waterways this weekend. The only place they're allowed to go is the waterways. I know, thank you. I'm gonna jump off. I was supposed to babysit my grandson today, but I feel like I've got the flu here and cold started, and my health is not great. Like, it's not been great since this shit happened with my dad, and I'm just trying to get it back. Uh so anyway, Mariska, my vision, if you want to go and watch the holy shit Uncle Larry with the Black Barn video, I sent that to the RCMP because those visions I gave May 8th have been proven to be true now. The names and everything have come out to be factual to my visions 5 months later. I can't even get on Facebook. I can't do any of that. The only thing I do is YouTube. So, I found them through other YouTubers' postings and through comments that were made on my live stream. But yeah, thank you everybody for being here. I am going to go live Sunday night. Sunday night, we're going to talk about Larry, Uncle Larry. Yeah, I had to he threatened me, so I blocked him. He threatened me, so I blocked him. I did. How do you know that? Trees? How do you know that? Did I meet you in Barhaven? How did you know that? Do you recognize my face from when I was in real estate? Because I sold a lot in Barhaven. That's so funny. That's so funny. Because I did a lot of business in Barhaven. I lived in Barhaven, yeah. And I sold a lot of business in Barhaven. And I did Phoenix Homes in Greeley. I worked for Kavanaugh Construction. He had custom homes everywhere. I worked for Mattamy Homes in Stittsville. I was supposed to go to the Barhaven site. I opened up their Stittsville site. You remember me? Yeah, sweetie. Aw, thank you, honey. Thank you, honey. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you very much. Yeah, I used to work with my dad, who was a land developer. Used to be in post-construction. Okay, honey. Yeah, I used to work with my dad. He was a land developer, Bob McKinley. And my mother did what she did to him. I've talked about it a lot on this channel. A lot of people somebody criticized me the other day, but it's part of my true crime story. It's part of what got me involved in true crime because I was losing my clients and the only thing I could do was try to jump on YouTube. Um, Derwood's son see the mask looks demanding. Now there's proof kids were there. I didn't see that. What is, yeah, oh, I know the kids were there. I know the kids were there. Yeah. How about I explain what now, Mariska? I don't do hoaxes, Mariska. I actually volunteer as a psychic medium with the Find Me group, and I have since 2018. You can research the Find Me group. The founder is Kelly Snyder. He's in the US and he was a secret service agent for 25 years and was undercover for 9 and busted like drug cartels in Colombia and big success, 4,000 cases. And then he started the Find Me group. And I passed in 2018 with 3 pictures of cases they worked at 80% accuracy. But my visions, because of the trauma that I was just talking about, I went through with my dad and my mom, while I was covering Sebastian Rogers when I started this channel, my visions were not as accurate as they are now because I had my own trauma I was dealing with. So, oh, Donna, you're getting married today. I didn't expect you to be here. You go get married. You go get married. I did not expect you to be here, honey. I know, sweetie. Yeah, Barb, I'm glad you're here. I was just saying I wanted to cover the ostrich thing, but one, I just didn't want I'm trying to work with the RCMP. I didn't want to make them look shittier. And two, I just find it so upsetting. I just find it so upsetting. I might cover it now that they're all dead, now that they've killed them all. And now he wants to play hero. He's just mad. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I have not been on this before, but I was curious as to what the visions are. Does anyone here know? Yes, Mariska. So at the very beginning of the case, okay. So I had these visions start when I was a teenager. And they were horrible. They would be literally me inside a crime scene, seeing people being murdered, kidnapped, attacked, drowned, beaten, stabbed, whatever. And they were terrifying. And then I would hear about them in the paper as a kid. And then I shut them down because they were terrifying. They just stopped and then they resurfaced in my 30s. I'm 57 December 8th. I'll be 57 this coming December. And so I said to my guides, you have to train this differently because it's terrible to watch an entire victim being brutalized and murdered. It was incredibly traumatic. And so for several years they were training me, giving me visions in my sleep. I had some last night about my family. I've been getting a lot about my family lately, not so many about the cases. But at the very onset of Jack and Lily, I was given a vision, which I told Corporal Wilson. I called the RCMP May 8th. And I was given a vision in my sleep. And you have to understand, you're sleeping and you're dreaming about something totally different. And in comes this vision. And it's something different. And so I'm communicating in my sleep and trying to retain the vision and get the information while still asleep. So it took me quite a few years to not be woken up out of the sleep and not lose the vision, or to remember it waking up, and then to communicate with the spirit I'm talking to while sleeping. So I get a vision of, and I've told everybody this on this channel multiple times, of kids being walked, Jack and Lily, by a man, and I saw the backside of his head. He had I say it in that stream, dark brown, black, almost hair. Long, he was thin. He was I only saw the back of his head, and he was holding Jack and Lily behind him. Okay. Jack was holding him and Lily was behind Jack, and they were holding hands, and they were walking on a diagonal, and they were walking towards Lansdowne Lake. And I, for some reason, intuitively asked Jack who they were with, if they knew the gentleman, and where they were going. And I was told they were being taken to Uncle Larry's barn. When I reported that and Mike Wilson called me back from the RCMP, that was reported May 8th. It was the next day or the day after. I got the impression that Mr. Wilson was familiar with psychics because of how he asked the questions. Was it that were they being taken to a real barn? I said, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get that. But my very first impression, the first thing my guides had me picture in and zoom in on was mechanics grease all over his hands, all over his hands. He was wearing a white t-shirt, like a tank top that had cigarettes and coffee, and it was dirty on the front, thin, and he was wearing jeans that bagged around the bottom, loose, and he was walking them, and they were going right, but then they were heading back towards, I said, the mountains, higher up elevation. And he asked me if it was really somebody, if there was somebody they knew. I said they did not appear to be afraid of this gentleman. And then I had another vision, which I also told Mike Wilson of the RCMP, of a man coming in, and I described it on this channel, of a red-headed man. I described his big, heavy set, red hair, a beard, and later found that that person, I just recently, in the last 2 weeks, because as a psychic medium, I don't try to follow a lot of other cases, because I don't want my interpretations of things to be skewed or swayed or influenced. But now that I'm pretty sure on my theory and what I'm seeing, it's different. But I don't normally watch other cases. But I just happened to see DT doing a live, and he showed a picture of Brad Wong. Well, that was who was in my vision that came banging through the door. Now, I had told Mike Wilson of my vision of this Uncle Larry, and I told him that this person is absolutely connected with mechanics or working on cars. And then Durwood starts coming out, right? Darren Geddes, and he was on my channel. He threatened me. I blocked him. He starts coming out saying all kinds of shit. And one of the things he said on someone else's channel was that when I came out from behind my barn from working on my toys, and every fiber on my body, every hair on my body stood up on end. And I knew Durwood was somehow involved, because that was the vision, that there was a mechanic and a barn that these kids were being taken to, okay? If you go to the video I sent the RCMP a week ago, it's like, holy shit. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. Holy shit. I found Uncle Larry. Let me just pull it up. You'll see what happened then was, I'll pull it up in a second because I want to finish my sentence. What happened was somebody posted that the barn down the road. Oh, and I also had pinned live, Mariska, 6 locations, 6 times a pendulum on where Jack and Lily were. And my pendulum went to the exact same spot 6 times. This is months ago. Then I find out last week that the barn right down the road where near the blanket was found, the black barn, is owned by Lawrence Larry Geddes, Uncle Larry. And I also find out that Durwood's son has black hair. And he has also come out dark blonde or brown, blackish hair. He's the guy that was in my vision. He has come out and said, as has Durwood, Jordan Geddes is friends with Daniel And they've also were seen the day before, which I also told the police. I also told the police on May 8th, Malaya was planning on leaving Daniel before this, which was proven to be true. Daniel was a drug addict, came out to be true. This is what was said to them on May 8th. That those kids did not walk out the back, that they were taken, and it was the night before. Now we find out the neighbors heard things. Everything I have given in the May 8th statement and there closely thereafter has proven to be true months later, including the name Larry Geddes. We released that video, I'll show you in a minute, is living in that black house, and it happens to be right where I pinned my location 6 times, and it's Darren Geddes' brother, apparently, who would have been Jordan Geddes, his son's uncle Larry's barn. So no, this is not a fucking hoax. Okay? I am dead serious. This is not a fucking hoax. So let me pull that up right now. Let me pull it up for you now, because I want you to go and see the video where I pieced it all together for you all. Okay. It's called, whoops, hold on. I'm trying to get the, okay, it's called, I can't get the video started, but it's called Holy Shit, I Found Uncle Larry. And it was 12 days ago. Yeah. Yeah. Really? Yeah. Well, that's because he knew I was pissed with him. And that's my point. It shouldn't have to come to that to get a call back. Darlene Brownlee. So is in saying, hang on, too many. So is in saying that Daniel, Jordan, Darren, Larry, all involved. I have said this before because, and this is was my theory going back to May, okay? Durwood said himself, Durwood came out and said himself, he came out and said himself on It's a Criming Shame that Malaya was talking shit about the family and the family was getting upset. And he also was going to do something about it. And Daniel admits, and I sent the clip to the RCMP where Daniel admits that Durwood was going to do something, but he didn't want to get involved with the marriage. Now, piece this together. We didn't know at the time, but we know now. CPS was out there. We know now Daniel was on rugs, meth. And what I believe was Malaya knew the CPS was coming for them. They lost their benefits because Daniel didn't do his income taxes. Now they got no money. Her kids are being abused. He's abusive. He's a meth head. And so, I was in there last night. Sunny Durwood came in. Yeah. And so Daniel's a meth head. Malaya's going to lose her kids. She starts planning on leaving. And I told Mike Wilson that she was planning on leaving him before this happened. And I told him that May 8th. And that came out later. And Daniel admits to a DT on his live. And I sent that clip to the RCMP that Durwood was going to get involved. But Derwin said he didn't want to do anything to come between them and their marriage. Derwood also said the family, he is the family, don't forget, the family, but he was talking about Daniel's family. Daniel's family, because he didn't know at the time he was related to Malaya, apparently. That Daniel's family was miffed off because Malaya was going to tell CPS about the rugs to save herself and get the kids out of there. And they needed to shut her up. That's my theory. And the original plan was to take the kids to threaten her. And I believe his son did that. I believe his son took the kids, not knowing Derwood dad, dirty dad, also had Brad Wong involved. And I think something happened after that. But that's my theory, that it was originally a plan to threaten to keep Malaya quiet because she was going to tell on them about the rug business. And if you go back and listen to all the lives, Derwood already said it. The family was mad. Malaya was talking a bunch of shit. Malaya, she wasn't talking shit, Derwood. We know she was talking the truth. You guys, your little son and Daniel are some rugsters. And you too I think. Yeah. And now Jordan's out losing his shit. Derwood is Malaya's third cousin. But Derwood is closer to Martel. Derwood's son, Jordan, is best friends with Daniel. And he's 33 today, and they've been best friends since he's been 14. And Derwood is friends with Janie. And I think Derwood is the responsible one who created this little fiasco, and something went wrong. And Jordan is feeling the heat now and going a little bit nuts now. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But my visions have never been wrong. Ever. And I was just telling Chad, I don't think you believe me. And he said, well, we're following up in every possible scenario and lead. I said, just in case you want to know, when y'all, I don't know, you can Google it. 5 or 6 years ago now, maybe even longer, in Rockport, Canada, near Kingston, a boy went missing. His dad was driving his new speedboat, and they didn't have enough life jackets on. And that's the St. Lawrence River that feeds into the ocean, and it's high waves. And the boat capsized, and his son went in the water. And the police divers looked for 2 weeks, and they couldn't find his body for 2 weeks. And the family, the mom was a lawyer and hired her own team of divers and came to me with Laura Traplin's groups. They actually came to Laura Traplin, the woman who trained me, who also volunteered or used to with the Find Me group as a psychic medium and has worked with the local RCMP in Ottawa lots. And we worked on that case, and it was my guides who gave us the exact house that boy was in the water in front of. And sure enough, the divers found him there in an underwater cave. So I was trying to tell Chad, I'm not some fucking wingnut. I have volunteered with the Find Me group since 2018 and passed with 80% accuracy with 3 pictures of cases they worked on. And that was it. But yes, my visions with all my stress and everything I was going through with my dad have not been as accurate, but they're back again. They were not accurate with Sebastian, which is why I want to start Sebastian over again, because I was in too much trauma. But they are accurate again, as been proven with Jack and Lily. Thank you, Donna. You're supposed to be getting married, and this is why I was debating not going live, because I knew you would do this, but I really want you to go and enjoy your morning, honey. I do. I want you to you're getting married. Yeah, so Derwood is Malaya's grandmother, but it was said that he didn't even know he was related to Malaya. When he talks about loyalty, it's not to Malaya's family. You're all ready. Okay. No, Darlene, I wish I could. And this is the thing that I find so incredibly frustrating, and I get very frustrated with for myself, is why, like, people, I don't enjoy it either. Why can't I just get visions that give me the whole fucking scenario? But I used to get those, right? I didn't want them because I don't want to see the whole freaking crime. Hey, Jasmine, do you want to come up? I was in my little rant. And so, yeah, so Mariska also, Kelly Snyder was already on our channel. He emailed me yesterday. I asked him to come up to talk about Jack and Lily because he came up to talk to us about Sebastian Rogers, but he's going through a lot. He's got a lot going on in his life, and he's been doing the Find Me group in his retirement for 20 some years. Okay. Full time. So he said, no, thank you. But he didn't have very many nice things to say about the RCMP in his email. And so, his experience having worked with them as a retired police agent. It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. But yeah, so he went to RCMP. I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. I know, honey. I know, Barb. I know. And this is what I'm saying. Like, the RCMP need to understand public opinion matters. Public opinion in the United States is why people are shooting cops. It's unacceptable that cops are being shot. It is absolutely unacceptable, but people have lost faith in them, and their opinion matters. I think they do. But I just want to say something. My daughter's a nurse at CHEO, right? She used to run the ER at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario in Ottawa here. She has her master's of nursing, and she now runs the autoimmune clinic for the kids with autoimmune diseases. And I love my daughter with every single fiber of my being, all my kids, both my kids, all my grandkids and my kids. But when you're exposed to it day in and day out, there's a complacency that happens. Like, it's so traumatic, the amount of kids that have died in her arms. I can't even talk about it. Like, I'm going to cry. Like, I can't even do blood without feeling sick. I don't know how my daughter ended up doing this, but it's the most thankless job in the world. I just, trying to save kids at the ER, and successfully and not so successfully many times. And there's a coldness because it's so heartbreaking. It's called compassion fatigue. And I think that's what's going on. And I think the RCMP needs to look at that. When you get exposed over and over and over again to these cases, and you don't get help to help you process what you're exposed to, you have to turn your heart off. You have to turn your heart off to survive the insanity. And that's what I think sometimes happens, that there's compassion fatigue. They see this day in and day out, and they can't take it with them because it'll eat them up. And I think that's what we're seeing. I think it's compassion fatigue. I think it's just an utter exhaustion and inability to cope. And so, it's not Chad's fault. It's his boss that should have replaced him, in my opinion. I get it. Well, this is it. And I get it. And it's like, it's also frustrating as to why they were only asked about killing the kids. Why they were only asked about killing the kids. So, somebody here said, reach your local mayor and stuff. Like, I don't have time for that. I can't even get anybody to help me with my dad's case. But the RCMP could be lodging and going to the public and saying, we need resources to help solve this case. They could do it. So I'm sorry that I went a little pissy, but I told Chad I was going live because I think Jack and Lily deserve better. I think Jack and Lily deserve better than giving the impression, which they gave me this morning, that they don't have enough staff to cover the leads coming in, that the guy covering the leads coming in took a holiday and now is away again for 2 weeks. So from the end of October to the end of November is not acceptable when you're trying to solve the biggest case going on in Canada right now. It's not acceptable. It's just not. Thank you. Well, it's if the RCMP can't do it, then we fucking got no hope in Canada, because they should have the biggest budget of all, because they are cross country and they're federal to the government, right? And they should be able to get the budget. If anybody could get it, it would be them. If they need to hire more help, get more help. And you know, I'm not even going to get into politics, because the Carney government and the Trudeau government have totally fucked up the laws in this country that allow for prosecution. Well, this is the thing. This is what I was hoping. I was hoping that the guy who's leading the command might start to become a little more transparent with people. Okay. I think people actually see, here's the thing. The world's changed. The world has changed. And the world values transparency and honesty, not political bullshit. And while Canada didn't successfully bring Pierre Poilievre into elections, that's what Pierre and Donald Trump, whether you agree with him or not, in my opinion, why they are widely popular is people are tired of the status quo bullshit paradigm being pushed out by politicians, justice agencies like the RCMP, the old way of sweeping things under the rug, the nothing to see here, talking to the public in a way like we're incompetent people, is dead. Dead, done, over, gone, forever. The world has shifted. Yeah, and the reason I wanted Pierre in is because Pierre knew my dad before my dad died in June. My dad helped Pierre Poilievre out when he was the housing minister, and John Baird. And I've met Pierre, and I've emailed Pierre about what happened to my dad. And then my dad died June 23rd. And I think if Pierre had won, he would have helped. And now my dad died. And I can't even get his estate closed, because that's how much help I can get. Can't even get legal aid to help me. Okay. So it's pretty fucking dismal in Canada. The justice system in Canada is fucked right now. Yeah, they sure shitting did. Trudeau should be in jail. It's just my opinion. He's criminally corrupt. And the RCMP commissioner came out publicly and lied to us about Justin Trudeau just a couple of weeks ago. You got that going on. You got the ostrich farm, and you got the biggest missing persons case to hit Canada in decades, in my opinion. And you got no transparency. Absolutely. Tyler Pierre this week. I only had a personal affiliation to Pierre because my dad helped Pierre when he was housing minister, because my dad was a land developer, a lawyer, a municipal lawyer. So that's why. So anyways, yeah, Mariska, there's hang on, where'd you go? Yeah, something not right there. But yeah, I don't want to get into politics. I know, Tash, I just said I don't want to get into politics. And CPS, my stepdaughter mom does, and spending the child support on it, and she has videos and pictures, and they didn't even go. They closed the case, the following up 3 times. It's sick. Well, CPS, don't even get me started. That's a whole other conversation. It's a whole other okay, we're not going into politics. Stop. I was just telling you my own personal reason for that. I don't think any politician is great. Okay, let's just be clear. I don't think any of them are great. That's all I have to say. But yeah. So I want better for Jack and Lily, you know? Um, I want better for Jack and Lily, and it's uh it's sad. These kids deserve better. They deserve better. And I'm just pleading with the RCMP to look at the world and how it's shifting. And people need and are expecting and demand full transparency. And when you're offering a $150,000 reward at the same time saying the kids walked out the backyard, those two things do not align. And nobody feels that this is a case of the kids walking out the back door anymore. And I think if you want to restore your faith in the public with this case, you might start coming clean and being more transparent. And you might deal with how people don't trust you because of how you don't communicate effectively to the public. And that's not going to get any better. I know, honey, but they aren't allowed to search anywhere but the waterways. And the only thing that makes sense to me in that is if the police are still investigating the buildings, right? If the police are investigating the buildings, maybe. Oh, Krista, I found the article. He did come out. I found the article, Krista. I'm going to pull it up right now because I've been wanting to show it to you. I was going to pull it up on the live, but let me just show it to you instead now, and then I'll let you go. But Wong came forward first. Let me pull it up. Wong came forward first. Is this the one? No. Hang on. Here it is. Wong came forward first, Krista. Let me show you. Remember I said I found it? Thank you, Linda sent this to me again because I couldn't relocate it. So this was published October 17th. Documents reveal new witness statements to RCMP about missing Nova Scotia children. So the RCMP has agreed to release new information about the disappearance of 2 children from their home in rural Nova Scotia, including accounts from witnesses who said they heard a vehicle going back and forth a few hours before the kids were reported missing. Malaya Brooks Murray reported her children, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, were missing at 10 a.m. on May 2nd. They all lived in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, a rural community in the province's northeast. Brooks Murray told police she believed the 2 children had wandered away from the home. The RCMP agreed to release the new information to the Canadian press and other media outlets ahead of a scheduled court hearing to review whether the information could be made public. They shed new light on a mystery that has been garnered attention across the country ever since children disappeared nearly 6 months ago. The information appears in documents the Mounties filed in court earlier this year to obtain search warrants for phone records, banking records, and video related to the case. Each document contains unproven statements made by the police. The documents say the first time the children were seen outside their home was May 1st. I'm just going to go to the bottom because we've already know all this. I just want you to know, included among the newly released information are summaries of the police conversations with 2 residents who live nearby and said they heard a vehicle shortly before the children disappeared. The documents say one of those residents, Brad Wong, told police on May 9th, Krista. Oh, you can't even see it, for the love of God. Why is it not coming up? May 9th. May 9th. That in the early hours of May 2nd, he heard a loud vehicle coming and going from the family's home on Gerlach Road. Wong told police his house is at an elevated position from Martel's home. Mountain. Up towards a mountain. Hang on. Wong told police his house is at an elevated position from Martel's home and he could see the vehicle lights over the treetops that night, the police documents say. Wong also said the vehicle left their address 3 or 4 times after midnight into the early morning hours, according to the documents. The documents say Wong told police he heard the vehicle stop and return, remaining in earshot the entire time. About a week after they spoke to Wong, police say they spoke to Justin Smith, the other nearby resident. Police say Smith told them on May 17th that he had spoken to Wong about the vehicle and that he had also heard it in the early hours of the morning, May 2nd. I gave that statement to the police that something happened at the house the night before in May, and this article was just released in October. How does that happen if I'm not right? Explain that to me. Show us, Daniel, show us your certificates. What does that mean, honey? Yeah, well, all I can tell you is Justin Smith wasn't the guy I got in my vision. I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know. I suspect I know Wong's involved somehow, or I wouldn't have had the vision. Okay. I suspect he was moved eventually, the kids were moved under Wong's care eventually, but that's just a suspicion. I did not get the vision, but my vision tells me Wong's involved, period. Point blank. Durwood, his son, Jordan Geddes, and Wong and Daniel somehow are involved. And I believe Durwood was the mastermind behind this. He incriminated himself in his own words. So I'm gonna call it quits here because I don't feel so great. But talk to RCMP. I thought Justin talked to RCMP. No, that's not what the article says. It's the other way around. Wong talked to the police first, the day after. Me, May 9th. Does anyone know how Daniel's currently making money? Is he back at work? Yes, he said he was taking courses, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't follow those kind of details unless I happen upon them. Okay, everybody. This was an impromptu live. I'm going to send Chad an email now, Chad Spears and his higher ups, but I would like a phone call Monday. I'd expect a phone call Monday. Because my emails to him for the last month have not been forwarded up the chain. So I would like some calls. I will see everybody Sunday night. I don't know. I was going to do 2 videos this weekend, but I'm not feeling so great. So I think I will be on Sunday night for live unless I'm really sick. Look forward to that. I do want to talk about Jordan Geddes Sunday night. So we are going to talk about Uncle Larry, Jordan Geddes Sunday night. Because I think Jordan Geddes is losing his shit because he's nervous. And that's why he's coming out doing all kinds of crazy things right now. Yeah. Yes, I do. Thank you, Robin. Everybody, Donna, go have a beautiful wedding. If you missed last night, we had a little celebration for Donna. Go watch that. It was fun. And everybody who's new here, thank you so much for showing up. I'm going to go and send that email off to Chad, who called me back. Thank you, Chad. I don't have a printer myself, so I can't do printer stuff. So welcome, everybody, or welcome in for anybody that's new, but go check out the other videos. And I hope to see everybody Sunday night live. It'd probably be like 7 o'clock Sunday night. Okay. Between 5 and 7. Thanks, everybody. Love and light. Have a good weekend.